So I wanted to do a new moon video for the new moon that's happening on Wednesday. That is the 13th of January. Now, as we know, new moon's all about new beginnings. It's a chance very much that we get each month to turn a new page and start a whole new lunar cycle. So the energy is all about sort of fresh new beginnings. So out in the atmosphere, we have a load more positive ions, and positive ions are what we get naturally at the seaside. Or the sea would be better, the ocean, it gives it off in the atmosphere. So there is a sense of well-being when we have a new moon. There isn't that same friction or that same build-up that we get around a full moon, which is highlighting our life in many ways. So a new moon, while there's a natural ease that can come, it's also a lot more reflective. It's less sociable, it's less revved up. This is a really powerful time to look within rather than looking out there at the world. Because if we think about the difference between a new and a full moon, there's loads of lunar light in the sky. We can see really clearly what's going on. It's highlighting ourselves, aspects that we might not have seen before. But when we have a new moon, there's no moonlight in the sky. It's very much a dark sky. So it's a sense of, rather than looking outwards, rather than looking for our life to be illuminated, we need to spend some more time looking within, looking at how we're feeling in our inner world, as it were, because the moon in astrology is always connected to our emotions, the past, the mother archetype. We're much more connected to the moon part of our astrological chart when we're children. So whenever I have a look at children's charts, I can see them living out their moon because it's very much how we live instinctively. And I think as we grow older, we tend to go more into our star sign, our sun sign, as it were. So if we think about what this new moon is all about, it's the first new moon of the year. So yes, that is powerful, but let's not forget that in astrology, the new year starts in March. It starts on the spring equinox, which is the 21st of March. So, how I would see what's going on, yes, it is a new beginning, but we're still very much caught up in what was happening last year. The energy hasn't shifted that dramatically, so we need to be aware of that. Now, I think what's also really, really important for us to acknowledge is that this moon, which is at 23 degrees of Capricorn, so what does that mean? It means that when we have an astrology chart, just look at where Capricorn is in your chart, specifically 23, and that's going to be the area of your chart that's going to be highlighted, that's going to be activated by this new moon. Now, for some people, you might not have any planets there. It might just be you might just look at where is Capricorn in your chart. But for people that have planets there, personal planets or outer planets, it's going to have more of an impact. It's going to be connecting to something in your chart, shaking things awake. But this point at 23 degrees of Capricorn is very significant because it's the point that last year in January we had the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. And Saturn-Pluto conjunction comes together within history. It always marks a time of great shifts, great changes for humanity. So actually the fact that this new moon is in that same spot, which very much got the ball rolling for this momentous year that we had in 2020, I believe that when it was in this point, it was when the first COVID the first COVID statistics were revealed in China, which very much created this kind of snowball effect, and it's been part of our catalyst for a new world in many ways. So if we think about this new moon being in that same position, it does not mean that we are going to be reliving what we went through last year. The vibe is very different for 2021, but it is acknowledging that we are still very much connected to that. So it's very much looking at, how was 2020 for you? What did you learn? How did you evolve? What were the gifts? What were the challenges? Because this new moon is next to the planet Pluto. And Pluto is an outer planet. It's the planet that's furthest away from us. And it's very much in astrology, it's ruled, it's the king of the underworld. So it rules anything that's hidden, that's suppressed. And it's that part of us that we can often not want to acknowledge. It can often be the part of us that have set things up that need to be changed. And it's not always comfortable when Pluto's around, because Pluto can very much, it can be a sense that we've had the rug pulled from under our feet quite significantly in our life. So it's about knowing that yes, this is a new moon, it's a new beginning, but it's also connected to that Pluto energy, which is about transformation and loss in some way. So what is it that you need to let go of? What is connected to last year, the changes that happened that you now need to release on some level? Because there's something that often has to be let go of when we see this placement before that you can move into this new chapter, this new beginning. And this new moon is in Capricorn, and Capricorn is an earth sign. It's a cardinal sign, so it's got quite a grounded quality. Of all the signs, Capricorn, I would say, is the most hardworking. It's the sign that wants to have recognition. It wants to be acknowledged for what it creates, for being the best at something. So it likes to look into the future, set its goals and work steadily towards it. So even though we're in the heart of winter, even though we're still very much connected to that 2020 energy, even though, at the moment it's not about action that comes in spring, this is a time to think about, how do I want my future to look? How do I want to show up this year? What can I bring forward, the gifts of 2020, and what can I let go? Because remember, the new moon isn't about action, it's about sowing seeds, it's about setting the intentions. And Capricorn is a very ambitious sign. So it's about connected to work, it's connected to career, and it's also connected to how you want to be in this area. So yes, Capricorn is going to be connected to an area of your life that we can see in the astrology chart, but it's also got a bigger theme about realism. What is it that you want to be recognized for in your life? So this is a great time to reflect on that, to even, think about your future self. I always believe that, connecting to future versions of ourselves and past versions of ourselves can really be illuminating, give us great insight. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, as always, do let me know. I love hearing about your moon stories. It's always wonderful to know how these cycles are showing up personally for you. And I really appreciate the time people take in telling me their own moon stories. So thank you for that, and please keep them coming. Lots of love. Bye-bye.